This is Danny Gould with the Gould team selling Silicon Valley with another Silicon Valley market snapshot for the week of February 25th, 2019. So much to share today, folks. And really, for the first time ever, we're seeing some shifts in the market, especially with the inventory, on the inventory side of things, that really lead me to believe that this spring is actually going to be a lot more seller friendly than I initially, or most people initially anticipated here in Silicon Valley. And let's start with the heat maps, because that really tells the tale of what's going on right now. Really interesting here for the week of February 25th. You'll see, my goodness, I wish there we go, the lighting's a little bit better. If you've been watching the videos for any period of time, you'll know that almost every single week this year, almost every area has been positive in the triple digits, meaning at least minimum 100%. But if you notice, in a lot of these areas right here, Cambrian, Almaden, Los Gatos, Saratoga, Campbell was 0. I mean, look at that. Cupertino with 15, Sunnyvale, Santa Clara. These are all areas here that are actually less than triple digits, which means that inventory is actually slowing. Like, the acceleration of inventory going into the spring is slowing down, which is very, very good. Meaning that we're going to get closer and closer to last year's level of inventory. We're not going to get, I don't believe, to last year's level of inventory in terms of, we're not going to get down to last year's inventory level because we're still quite high. But good news if you're a seller, because that means heading into the spring, the acceleration is slowing down, right? The acceleration is lessening, which means that you're going to have less competition than you may have initially anticipated in the early winter months, when many areas were in 2, 3, 4, 5x the amount of inventory that there was this time last year. Now let's look at the pending listings here of the heat map, and I want you guys to understand we're really only focused here on the central, southern central portion of Santa Clara County. We're still missing a lot of Santa Clara County up here, as well as South County as well. So things to consider as we look at the pending listings and then look at what's going on as a whole. Pending listings. Now you'll see everywhere's in the red, right? So what does that mean? Does that mean that demand is down from last year? Because that's certainly, that's not what it feels like. From an agent's perspective, someone that's out there every single day, I've talked about this over the last couple of weeks. We've really seen a ramp up in the market, and we've experienced very healthy levels of activity at all our listings, even the ones that have been on the market for 2, 3, 4 weeks. We've seen, at least open house wise, in the teens in terms of guests coming in on a daily basis. And it's very interesting, because when we look at the active and pending numbers across the county, we'll notice a couple of things that are, really stand out to me. If you notice, pending listings, active single-family homes, 944 compared to last year, 583. I mean, that's a huge discrepancy, right? Now, remember, last year, really abnormally low inventory levels. If we look, though, 944, 661 in 2017, but 815 in 2016. 2016 was not a bad year for Silicon Valley real estate. We're actually very close, right? And then pending listings, yeah, we're a little down, okay? We're a little down, but look at last year, 795 to 765. But hold on a second. How does that make sense? Because if you notice, we were in the red across the entire county, right? Well, not really. Because what you didn't see in those heat maps was the entire northern portion of the peninsula. Palo Alto, Los Altos Hills, Mountain View, Sunnyvale, all those areas are way up in terms of pending listings. And what does that mean for Santa Clara County as a whole? Well, remember, I talked about in the previous video, we talked about the fact that there's ebb and flow in the county, right? As we move, let me go back to the map. As we move from here to here, right? This is what happens every single year. It's not rocket science, and it's not abnormal. It happens every single year. We get a surge of buyer demand in the northern portion of the peninsula. It trickles down into Santa Clara, Sunnyvale, Cupertino, right? Schools, location, commute, right? All important things. Then people say, oh shoot, there's so much demand. Well, I'm going to go down here because that's all I can afford now, and I want to avoid competition. And then we get a surge of demand here. And it's this ebb and this flow, right? So right now, we're in the northern portion of the ebb, right? And then we're going to get the flow. Ebb, then flow. If you remember, 2 weeks ago, let's go back to that map right here. We had pending listings. We were in the black. If you recall, we were in the black in a lot of portions of the southern central part of the county. Now, that was the flow, right? And now we're back on the ebb. So things are moving up. And then in a week or 2 or 3 or 4, I fully expect things to move back down into the black here, or for more areas to be in the black in the southern central portion of the county, and then for a lot of portions up in the Mountain View Palo Alto area to actually be down in terms of demand, right? Or pending listings absorbed. Because if you notice, this should be very comforting. If you are a seller in today's market, take a look at this, because this is very good news for you. Pending listings. If you look at the pending single-family homes, year-over-year change, -4%. That's so good. Guys, we're only 765 to 795. We're only down 30 units absorbed right now over the entire county if you compare year over year, which is incredible, right? That means that the activity is there. The activity that we're used to seeing is there in the market today. And if you look, the even better news for you is that more condos and townhomes are being absorbed. Now, that's probably a result of the fact that there's 247% more condos and townhomes on the market, but still, this should be very, very good news to you if you're a seller, right? Now, what does this mean for you if you're a buyer? Well, right now is a great time to buy. And the reality is that as we move later on to the spring season, you are going to have more options. Interest rates are low right now. And the reality is that even though the activity is there and units are being absorbed, there are more units for you to choose from, right? And so there are still plenty of opportunities here in the Bay Area. We're seeing multiple offers on a lot of properties that come on the market, but we're also seeing a lot of properties sit on the market 20, 30, 40, 50 days. And so it really just depends. Like I mentioned before in previous videos, it's this concept of feast or famine, right? You're either going to get multiple offers the first or second weekend that you come on the market, and you're going to sell right away, or you're going to sit on the market. But the reality is that the best properties are still selling quick. They're still selling for the highest possible price. So if you want a deal, right, as a buyer, right, and there's no deals here in Silicon Valley, but if you want a deal, you're gonna have to settle for something that's not top of the line. Everyone primo wants it, right? Like, does that even make sense? I don't know. But it's not gonna be like that primo top of the line Rolls Royce property that everyone wants, right? You're not gonna get that without multiple offers right now, right? The demand is there. But if you want something that needs a little work, or just maybe the layout's a little funky, it stays on the market for 2, 3, 4 weeks, there is opportunity there, and I would encourage you to jump on it now that interest rates are low. Just a couple more things, guys. I mean, look, really, if you notice because I want the light here. The light's a little not really in my favor, but if you notice, we talked last year about the acceleration, right? This is the acceleration, percent increase of active inventory from the beginning of the year till now, right? The acceleration of the market last year was incredible. This year, 44%. That's right on par with 2017 and lower than it was in 2016. This is very good news for us. This is very good news because, as you recall, at the beginning of the year, inventory was extraordinarily high. Now things are tapering off a bit. Will this trend continue? Who knows? But I'm going to be here every step of the way to keep you guys updated and informed, You guys know who it is. It's Danny Gould with the Gould team selling Silicon Valley. Go ahead and leave your comments and questions down below. Shoot me a text, shoot me an email. Always here to help. Catch you guys in the next video.